My name is William. I'm trying to get someone on the phone for weeks. F7. What's the name, man? Supervisor. 11. Okay. Okay, just, okay, slow. No, it's always recorded, you know, like a real human. It's okay, this is real life. Fuck. Just, okay, hear me out. Big man Tate. We got it, baby.
This is nice.
Man, we're gonna be all right.
You gonna sleep, right?
Yeah, warehouse job.
It's good, baby.
Called from a black number earlier.
No, why?
Turn on the alarm.
Thought you wanted to come see me.
I'm on my...
Lauren.
Alright, Unit 3. Yeah, this is gnarly.
Unit 3, LAPD.
Not bad. Oh, Jesus.
Stay focused. Stay clear, I need to check. Is it still there? Sweetie, hey, just gonna look a quick look at you. Let me know if any. Deep breath, deep breath. Scott, hey, wait. What's your name? Lindsay. Now I need you to do something. Hey, I knew you could, okay? When you hear that, I'm not gonna let go, okay? Okay, you're gonna look at me. I need you to, good job.
30 seconds up. Already did.
Doors are gonna open. When we do that, we're gonna break. She's gonna be okay, okay? 9-year-old cardia, but I got it down on route. 12 minutes.
Is this what your first time?
I know a good enchilada place.
Wow.
We've got barf bags.
Come home. Even nigga. For
You're not supposed to be. Rich people don't like you.
What's with the vet?
Some lawyer outside of a courthouse.
They hire you to protect it. Yeah, you too.
Yeah? For a second, I thought you were gonna call me.
Loud.
Keurig, thanks. Boss finally splurged. On the phone for? Let's go. Get me anxious. Enjoy my break room.
Great. Look, man. Off. But,
I mean, you call me, huh? I know there was shit between anything between you and me.
Yeah.
Is that right? You put your miss your kid being born, what do they give you?
it's good.
Yeah, I found it when I took it. This. Hey, who's that? Wait.
Burns. Took me in.
Maybe one day let me see.
231. Cover experimental because...
It's the guy? My name.
Yes, it is. It's Mel Gibson. It's like one of my favorite movies. Like a lot of Grammy. Doesn't he look like that?
Do. Man.
Well, like, well,
Box is outside. But this is now. Now 32 million. It's a one-off. One driver.
Oh, jeez.
It's ours, Danny. It's an ugly beast. Oh.
550 should roll nicely.
Hey, Will, come check this out. Be tracked, and this is Clinton Bank? No. So that's my brother, Will. Oh, wow. Hey, where you going? Come on.
I came to you for a long...
Everything I have is tied up. I need your help. I can't do this.
I'm not stupid.
I knows that, but I'm not him. Think? No. Want me to say? What are we gonna do? Action? You know how it works. Come on. 1 second.
The crew you
I
dragged me
like
into,
this
Danny.
shit. Turkey, Christmas.
Funny.
It works for both sexes. You're my brother, and now you're here. The world! To do something for yourself.
Here you go, your latte. We're a little traumatized after all. They're from this bad? I figured you...
I don't want to know.
So calm and cool. I was free.
You're new and you talk too much. Drop him, forget it.
Okay, so what they
Oh,
say?
you want me to take the bait, okay?
Anyone alive for 20
20
minutes?
minutes.
Research.
There's definitely some...
Trying to get to know you. You think about what I'm into. That's something too much, so I'm just gonna maybe take a picture at the end of the day. Isn't Tarzana?
I do know her name. Her name's... No. Energy flying.
To the same bank 3 times.
Tell her.
The wrong time. Romantics. Sean Connery said, losers wine.
Super aggressive. The Rock.
You okay?
Not sure. So
I've seen more action than all of you.
I'm gonna rock this today.
Balls out!
might get stupid here real quick.
Guy in a delivery truck wearing.
You boys ready?
You wait, Nitro, you hear me?
Mercedes.
Well, shit, damn it. That'll be a bloodbath. And you wait till it. Locked. But it's locked. Hold on.
What can I do you for, officer? Procedure. The word before.
Thinking about starting to save
Some great junior accounts.
quick because I'm on the clock. I promise. Commercials. Really emotional. It's really cute.
Well, I'm sure.
It's okay.
Yes, sir.
Kim Thorough. Full name. Park. Okay.
Wait.
Is it?
Well, wow, it's really just out there in the car. He's myself that if I ever got the chance on a date, doesn't have to be or something. Right now.
Fucked up the name, didn't I? No. These are the just say I have 2 guns full of you, the tellers, and 9 employees. Not if you understand, officer. Now take your fucking hand off. Yeah. All right.
$1 million, guys. It's all yours. Yes, sir.
$1 million per block, man.
I was giving it to the talent.
My wife's gonna be very happy. Hey, pick up the.
Got nothing to do all fucking day. Yeah, I'm glad you're taking it. Oh, fuck. There's. I'm working, Danny. I told you. Let me see if I can bullshit this. Officer. Get on. Ladies.
Lady alone, let's go.
I got him in front, sir.
You are almost there now. Sometimes you just gotta look at it.
You have a great day. God bless.
You are all gonna have. Let's go. Come on.
It's taking him.
Let's go.
Get out! Right now! Guess what?
SIS! Run! Go! Come on! Let's go!
Why what?
Let's talk about
I'll just put in for a trip. Do you have one?
Shots fired. First national.
Go it!
Be advised, I'm going in.
Fucking Sims, dude.
Hey, let's go.
Who cares? Get it. Tight. Who's shooting? Right there.
We'll stop.
He's shooting.
Just fucking stop!
What did you do?
Good, you good.
Just hold your hand.
Hey.
Let's go.
Hey.
Look how this
on the
looks,
way.
Will.
Okay.
We have to go. You fucking punch me.
multiple shots fired. Fire. 2045 requested.
Ah, shit! Man, they're everywhere! Go! Fucking inch.
Show me. This is not the.
Fucking.
Sit down. Officer, get down.
Let's go. Blow those.
Okay.
Stay with me.
Huh?
Hey! Look at me. You hear me, Zach? Go!
Squeeze through. Just go.
They're locking this place down. Come on, let's go!
Hurry! I don't know.
Are you sure? No exit. Shed me light. Give me this. Zach. Back. Hey, buddy. 1, 2, 3.
My fault. I had him go.
It's okay? I'm gonna be helping. Scott. Take what 10 said and. Whew.
Stop!
Guy with a big fucking gun.
Get you drive.
What do you want? Ready?
No, I did not.
You got point?
Be your own. Do your job, all right? Oh, no, wait. I don't give a fuck. Get our way out of this, or you can help him.
Officer down!
Him?
It's that time.
Down! I got an officer.
We'll let you in here. Chris, hold it. Let's go.
I gotta move. Let me do my.
All right, let's go. Just getting out of here.
Whoa! Hey! There we go.
Phone, yeah.
Button, the
Which
red.
line?
Hey, Will. 16 million.
Say Cam, how's...
Is that okay?
Hey, but...
Huh? One Adam 25. The ambulance got my part. Back, got it?
Yeah.
Hey,
What are you gonna do with those?
we're clear. I'm gonna call 911. Yeah. Hey, it's not really my thing, but like, I'm sort of more the sensitive one.
Hey, boss.
Let this go down right in front of LAP.
From inside the ambulance.
Oh, we got. Tell me about that ambulance. Who fucked that?
Screw this up trying to get this paycheck's mess. Calm down before I smash it.
I call you Mark. Now it's my job to get your partner.
Academy, good kid.
I got the best possible people on it.
City Hall, southbound.
Officer inside.
What's going on?
We got an airship.
Where? Yeah, no,
I'm
no.
not sure.
I wasn't expecting helicopters today. Stash car's too far. We won't make it. Will, come on. Will, we're not gonna do anything. We're just.
You gotta get
Competition in Kabul. You can do this. Nobody drives better than you. Come on. I'm gonna get you back. Yeah? What is it? What's going on back there? Turn around and go. Come on.
Go. Hey, shit.
Come on, Cam. Let's go.
Fuck you. Die.
It's Kashmir.
Alex.
What? No, just drive. In the back? Yes, we are.
Fort just spotted the ambulance.
Double command moving in 5. Like use your own, okay? Yes, sir. Goal in barbecue last night.
That's something other than bad murder, something other than bad people. You could ask me. How's a big FBI?
What kind of unit?
Special
People still.
for the dumb questions, or are these? Oh, boo.
Boss.
Chief.
No one else wants this shit show. Damn, you're young. I like her. Talk to me.
We have mutual aid with sheriffs to see 15,000 pounds of real.
Who's that? That's for fancy people. I'm a dog guy.
Respect, sir. We didn't have time to flirt.
Okay, Zaga.
Air units respond to our location.
Let's use triggerfish to find whatever.
Spawn southbound on Broadway.
1,000. I'm smartest and the most dangerous criminal. Strategy. Put a little pressure on. In 2 hours.
Metal. You know, the cold metal.
Down spike strips.
Just keep pumping.
Come on. You're rich now, boys.
No.
Be quiet.
Cross traffic.
Whoa, easy. You gotta ditch this.
Just find me a street.
Danny! Get your
Go help her. Help the...
of your fucking life at the defib pads.
The what?
Turning into the bus.
Around the corner. Move. You're gonna die.
What? It looks like an ear.
I'm not used to being in a police chase. I need the pass.
Got it.
It's a little
It
hard.
has a pin there and there. The
And there's
yellow
like a
one.
squiggly Atari game.
Move.
Sure.
We need to take him to the hospital.
We all gotta go with what we got. You are. Read the sign.
Squad, use a dead-end street. Slow.
Yeah.
Beast.
Expensive car chase right now.
Well, sorry I didn't think of that.
Shit.
Texas switches, identical cars. I mean, it's crazy.
Oh, so we're 6 blocks away.
Keep the keys in the gas cap.
Roberto, Turner, interrupting a very exciting.
Damn the ambulance.
Here right now.
You. Why are you
You're making moves.
for Danny? You run.
Behalf. Dad, your family. Not tonight.
That's the plan. Just steal him from the. Get Roberto right now. Saddle up.
Go! That's what they pay you. Flamingo just got here. What you?
Keiko's property. She turned 6 tomorrow. Bouncy castle. Tommy the clown. Castro.
My blood pressure.
Yes, I need your sprayer. Just sent you. And I'm going to give you.
In the game right now, and I got money on. Balling is actually the most sophisticated.
You're dumb boy. Goes. Listen. Mango's alone. There. What's the problem now?
I will run an IVT.
A lot of innocent people are gonna be in danger.
Well, they're good. FBI dead.
C4 confirmed off flat.
100 stagger the units ahead.
So far, RHD cyber.
Hearing us.
They're gonna.
Let's roll!
Guys up front. Irritate him a bit.
Cars around.
So he can hear me.
Hey, well, you need to tell him.
Big mess.
I don't want to call you Mr. Bangardi.
I love Dodgy Dog. Out of here now!
You don't want me hurt my officer and one paramedic. Dodgy dog, what do you say?
We don't stop. We don't stop!
Getting ready, right?
3 minutes. Let's go.
Roberto.
Zetas.
You can see in the studio what's going on. Convention center. It looks like.
Hard to lock down. 18.
Stop him here.
What's this? I can't shake this guy.
Eddie.
You hear me?
This guy's a hell of a driver.
I'm gonna teach them a lesson.
Hey, let her go! Drive! Back it up! Shit! Fuck it!
Who the fuck put you back?
Is that my dog? Police check!
And who puts up?
Nitro.
Pull back, it's too dangerous.
Now, Danny. I'm pulling.
We are not hurting her.
Look at a cop. An Elliot, so forget about her. It's
Out on the forefront, stop. Are following these two suspects. How much longer these two suspects?
They're making people feel that way.
Reminds me of years ago.
Manchester in the express lane.
Coming from? Where's it coming from? You shot him twice.
Finally. In my room. You're way old school SIS.
Wonderful. Well, that's working out real.
Suspenders and looking like you're 20. Oh, great. Another tour.
Speech.
It was in the bank robbery. It's a hostage.
Your paramedic out the back. His name LT was a legend. He's
Well, tremendous.
FBI.
We can run a mini. Tell D team to get ready. We're gonna. Why?
Danny. Is it right? He is. We used to be.
Get this bitch rolling. You're just more tight than you normally are. I got the spray. I got the flamingos. You just gotta take a deep breath, cause you.
Hey, Toledo.
in criminology at Maryland.
For what? They were bringing criminals in?
Study us. Daddy, class he could. Bad father stories. Poof, he did that.
It's just gross.
Kevin Banks. No.
Because they'll talk.
Prognosis?
He needs an OO to open him up. Stop them. I can't.
Why is the answer no? Doctors.
Brink.
Dr. Waters?
Cancun? All right, I'm calling. Yep.
Colin.
Been a while.
I know it's been. I need you to walk me through it.
You're an EMT. Situation what? Oh, shit. Who's this? Yeah, I'm the... No. All right, don't hurt her.
Blood, I'm gonna
call some trauma.
Farsi!
Fucking Dr. Farsi. We're
Operation to remove the bullet. Now.
You hear what's going on?
sending through.
Vitals are cracked.
Hey, Danny!
I've done.
Yeah, I got everything.
Will.
You can see.
Combat triage.
Shoot him with an AR or with a hand?
Dark! You don't stop!
Haven't changed.
Well, I recognize that voice.
I guess you should begin with, but sure, yeah, let's do this. She's not a doctor. Danny. You're about to have a lot of free time. Who's the other guy, your driver?
You open him up. Open the...
Out of the fucking way!
Then you and your wound, and I need you to spread.
The way people drive...
60 miles an hour.
I need you to...
Danny, I need you to slow down. Now's not the time to argue. Operation back here. Just go back here. Just...
What are you doing?
Now, squeeze it hard. You're doing good.
It's working.
My brother right now.
Palpate for the bullet.
Press onto the spleen. What do I do?
Spleen, I need to visualize it.
It's nervous all the time. You know what we do? Just fully awake. Oh.
Stop!
Look up!
That worked.
Attached to the bottom of it.
Gentle. I don't want it to...
It's coming out. Taking it out. I got that in. Oh, God.
You're gonna clamp that right now. He's gonna bleed out.
Look at me. Listen.
Okay, grab it. Okay, you gotta... Oh, shit. It's crazy.
Yeah, we do.
Wife know you're Rob Banks. Situational awareness.
Take them out.
Slowed down to 20 miles an hour. Camille Thompson is performing.
Hey.
How you doing?
Atiende 5 minutos. 3 favors. C4.
Hey, we're not trying to start a war.
Protecting our investment, Danny.
Making move!
Med school. I gotta do it.
What about Colin?
Out of the way!
Yeah.
Back up here!
Hey.
Spleen was rupturing. I just told you.
Chief's on the line.
Hey, Will, I got... How to get... Cal, can we get back down? They're on...
Have him jump ahead to the one.
I got a plan. I've been working along the LA River. You should wait.
What am I supposed to do, FBI? Chief wants to...
What's the move?
A living bridge is right next to where we... Shake. Do anything. Leave him in the dust just like the old... We gotta think about this.
To kill a cop. D-team is taking him out.
The paramedic coming at it.
It's not 100%. Ground team that'll come in and sweep it up.
No more wait.
You gotta negotiate her out. This is...
Not your buddy killing a cop.
What will you count? Hey, give me the cup. Just listen, this is Agent Clark. Snipers are gonna take...
We're still green. Green for go.
Kill Mike on.
He's alive?
Yes. Snipers!
Engage.
Oh, you want to...
You warned them.
All units fall back. The car's on 500 feet. Ready to LAPD pursuit tackle, Agent. So you text K. I'll set a trap, nobody gets out. We got contact.
Messages, right?
I want everyone alive, Danny.
A what?
You don't think I'm gonna hurt any... Oh, yeah? Did answer...
Again.
Just take it easy.
Hey, you need to keep it cool back.
Take it. Tell him what I'm doing.
There's a gun in his hand. I saved you.
Everybody think they are, so the rest of us, you're just not important.
I'm keeping him alive.
No, we don't need you anymore.
Danny.
Was that a name? It's Danny's brother.
Who's...
All right. You're... Poppy's guys are setting me.
Intersection, he's gonna try to lose us.
Anson, FBI, Danny.
Rotation.
What's your plan?
Can't hear me. Our fixed wing.
We're pulling off. Yeah, how you fix?
Yeah, apparently not.
Shit, brother Danny, or your psych...
That was yesterday. We're talking about...
lawyer? We're giving him grace to take hostages 30 years? Don't listen to him. This guy... Your wife, you want... Only so much I can do for you, Will. His daddy behind plexiglass.
Everybody just shut up! Everybody just...
Give you an out, but I can only do that.
We don't stop.
Weak link.
You need to work.
And touch my shit. Perimeters.
Where is this?
Listed downtown.
Sorry,
The whitest thing I've ever heard.
Please. You can lose it.
Will need someone.
So you were a Marine?
Hey, babe.
Long, good dog. You got the job? He got the great. Wait, are you car chase, bank robbery?
You don't want me to be on the phone on my phone, right?
What? I'm so proud of you. The insurance.
Oh, man.
Empire Princess, are you done?
Hey, just waking up.
So beautiful.
Expensive.
Perfectly preventable traffic.
Yeah, that's everything else. I think you need to be
Talking about, but he's putting people's. It's okay. I have everything.
Castro.
What the hell is going on right now, man? Is it?
Yeah, I understand that, but
The guns really want to go home. Yeah.
Hey, we're all set up.
I'm a man of my
AirPods right now.
chill out.
You rock the.
Always All right, we're here.
All right, here we go.
Or can we get to a hospital?
40 miles of empty concrete.
Straight or pull over. Damn.
We fixed wing aircraft. Zoom in, please.
Air 11. I see you, Danny.
There's water everywhere!
I did.
Here he comes. You press him. You.
Game's coming up.
I didn't sign up for
Practicing that move. Going. Let's go.
Fucking great driving, man. Such a winner, Castro, let's go. Just what? Just spray the whole.
It's gonna be like 5 hours.
You're 4.
They thought they were being tricky. Issues. Police testing and closing that.
Come on, let's go. Walk. Just walk.
I'm not. No.
Green? Blue! What is this? Night called stress. It's called stress.
Spray. Spray.
Got him.
What you got me?
Show me.
It's fully.
5 seconds, whatever the fuck he said.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Hey, this ambulance, I need you to go know why you are down. I don't think. All right?
Be lookalikes.
Military trick.
Air 18, direct all.
This is not good, but he's blocked in there. We're gonna get off of it.
We want to control. This is Special Agent Anson Clark.
Who are these?
He's dead.
No matter what.
Us. Think I have something to ease your suffering.
Tough with that gun.
It's yours.
I don't think they like cops here.
Was your hand in my. So.
I know, Pappy. I'm sorry. Your daddy a long time. He never came close to nothing. Proud he'd be of you now.
Let's triangulate it.
Getting hot out there, puppy.
Just sit down and relax. Business while we're waiting.
The NBA to figure it out.
You're right, Danny. You're right. It's not my son dying for this. It makes him lucky, huh?
Hey, Pappy, that's what we talked about.
Will.
Yeah.
Espérate, Danny.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Both.
No. All the shit I got going on. So now she stays.
No.
So I would have thought you were pretend
Not to do.
And yet here.
Stop. She fucked you. What? They just all appeared out?
We're the bad guys, Danny.
No, we are not the bad guys. We're just.
We've been causing the whole fucking.
Have the
we
argument.
don't get
Listen to
home,
me.
Danny.
Well, what are you trying to do? Let's go. We get the money. You understand?
Okay.
We on the time, we're there, man. Look, you all in.
Danny, you know what you those helicopters out there? I rode with you all this way.
No, it's over, Danny. We fucked up. We fucked nobody else behind.
Sorry. That's it. We're done.
You got that? I'm leaving. I'm not leaving.
Just calm down. I'm sorry, brother. It's the way they used to be, you know? Left. And I wish you'd go left.
I don't know.
You bastard! Get out of my phone! Like, see that cop you said?
Just get us there. Will.
Who's this?
Stay with me. Will, come on.
They're not gonna listen to you. They've just lost.
He's fake. Stop. With me. I'm gonna do this for you. Come on.
Let's go. Take me down there now. You okay?
Me, please stay with me.
Reset.
You don't have a shot.
Give me some time. It's Anson. We're just gonna come.
I did.
You're lying.
I did.
You shot him?
Danny, it was. I'm sorry.
These cops should be. That's you. You don't come out right now. We're gonna shoot you in the head on live TV.
Sierra 1.
You hold. What the fuck you want me to do here?
Your hands where they are.
Sierra 1. I've got movement shot.
Hold. Do not shoot.
He's dead!
Come out right now.
Get in the head! There's nothing.
No,
I'm gonna shoot her in the head! Out there!
Shoot
I may have a shot. Stand by.
And do anything wrong!
I'm fine.
You help this in? What happened?
I don't know. Ian,
Cam. He's a criminal, all right? I need to forget him.
Stop! This is a crime scene.
Hey, look at me. Look at me. Come on. Help me now. Life. Come on, Will. Move.
Let's get him out. Make a hole.
here you go. Thank you. It's okay. You saved me.
The film opens in Los Angeles. Veteran Will Sharp, Yahya Abdul Mateen II, is trying to get on the line with medical insurance agents because he needs money for experimental cancer surgery for his wife, Amy, Moses Ingram. He receives no help at all, leaving him with few options left. They also have a baby to look after. Will goes off pretending to be heading for a job interview, but he is really meeting his adoptive brother, Danny, Jake Gyllenhaal, who is an infamous bank robber. Will meets Danny at his home where he possesses multiple stolen cars with his crew. Danny knows that Will needs something and Will admits he is desperate. Danny agrees to bring him along for a job they are pulling off that very same day. Elsewhere in the city, paramedic Cam Thompson, Isa Gonzalez, arrives with her new partner Scott, Colin Woodell, at the scene of a car crash where a little girl named Lindsay, Briella Giza, has been impaled by a fence post. Cam helps Lindsay calm down as they cut the fence down to free her. Later, Cam and Scott go for lunch, where Scott informs her that Lindsay is gonna pull through. But Cam says she doesn't care because she just goes about her job like any other, without forming any attachments. Scott points out that he has heard of Cam's reputation. While she is the best medic in the city, nobody else wants to work with her. Will joins Danny and his goons as they arrive at the bank. Meanwhile, two officers, Zach, Jackson White, and Mark, Cedric Sanders, drive over to the bank because Zach has a crush on one of the tellers and wants to ask her out. Mark encourages him to go along with it. Once he gets in there, Danny and the others have already begun to hold the other employees at gunpoint. He is unable to stop Zach from going in by saying he wants to open an account. Zach asks Danny, who is pretending to be the bank manager, the teller's name, and he gives him a fake one. When Zach gets to the window to talk to her, he sees her actual name before realizing something is off. Danny quickly pulls his gun out and has his guys draw theirs and force Zach to play it cool so that they can get what they want and flee. Outside the bank, Mark helps one of the crew members with his truck after it stalls, unaware of his true intentions. Once the crew's cover is blown, the criminal attempts to run Mark over, but he jumps out of the way in time. As Will and Danny start walking out with Zach as a hostage, a gunfight ensues between the other crew members and police. Danny's guys are all killed. Zach attempts to fight Danny off and Will shoots Zach. They start to run out and leave Zach there, but Mark manages to find him. Cam and Scott are called in to help, but after they bring Zach in, Danny forces Scott to get out and has Will take his uniform so that they can steal the ambulance. Danny hops in the back and forces Cam at gunpoint to do what he says. They start to drive away and are blocked off by a squad of cop cars, but Cam is able to send them away after they find that Zach is being treated in there. Other officers find Scott unconscious and realize Will and Danny hijacked the ambulance. This brings in other law enforcement officials like SIS Captain Monroe, Garrett Dillahunt, to show up and figure out how to stop them. They also bring in an FBI agent, Anson Clark, Keir O'Donnell, who is in charge of a division specializing in bank robberies. He informs Monroe that he knows Danny is behind the robbery, and he even has a personal history with Danny, and knows that his criminal father led him into that life. Monroe urges the other agents and officers to exercise caution in stopping the ambulance since Zach is in there. Will stops the ambulance in an alley as they realize that police choppers are now looking for them. Cam makes an attempt to flee, but Danny catches her and forces her back inside. Danny contacts another criminal, Castro, Wale Falarin, to prepare for their arrival in Boyle Heights. Danny also speaks to crime boss Poppy, A. Martinez, who worked with his dad. The gangsters in the area begin prepping a car strapped with a machine gun. Cam continues to try and keep Zach stable and forces Danny to help with the defibrillator. When Zach starts bleeding out, Cam tries to stop the bleeding but doesn't know how since she's not a doctor. She contacts an ex-boyfriend, Colin, Andy Favreau, who is a doctor, and contacts 2 other surgeons and put her on video chat to guide her through it, as she now gets help from Will. They are forced to dig through Zach's stomach and try to remove the bullets. At one point, Zach wakes up and starts freaking out, causing Will to punch him and knock him out. When Cam tries to remove the bullet from Zach's spleen, it ruptures and has to be pinched down with Cam's hair clip. They manage to keep the bleeding under control from there. Monroe gets in touch with Colin, who tells him that the video feed cut out just as Zach's spleen popped. Thinking this means Zach is dead, Monroe orders the other officers to get into sniper position and wait for the ambulance to pass. However, Cam manages to get in contact with Clark, telling him that Zach is still alive. Cam sees the snipers and warns Will and Danny, and although the ambulance takes a few hits, they are able to outrun it and cause other cop cars to crash with their maneuvers. After Danny says they don't need Cam anymore and he attempts to shoot her, Will tries to keep Danny calm by playing music, but it doesn't work. Cam also learns that Will is a veteran and is married with a child when Amy calls and video chats with him, thinking that he got the job he pretended to be interviewing for. The guys drive the ambulance down to the Los Angeles River, where Danny starts shooting at a chopper before Will drives them further. They make it to their destination, where Castro begins to spray paint the ambulance, and Monroe and his team are preparing to take them on. The criminals retaliate by sending the machine gun car into the police crowd, firing upon all of them and killing Monroe. Poppy's son, Roberto, Jesse Garcia, sends another ambulance full of explosives down there, blowing up other cops. Mark sees Roberto and chases him, and after a struggle, he causes Roberto to shoot himself in the head, which Poppy witnesses on the news. Will and Danny arrive at Poppy's place with the ambulance to deliver his cut of the money. Poppy is outraged at his son's death and wants more payback from the guys. He orders the brothers to leave Cam and Zach with them. Instead, Will and Danny work together and kill Poppy and his guys. Meanwhile, Zach gives Cam his gun just in case. Will runs to the ambulance and in a panic, Cam accidentally shoots Will. Danny finds Will shot and thinks it was another gangster. Danny takes the ambulance toward a hospital, but they are surrounded by cops. Clark tries to contact Danny and get him to surrender or he will be shot. Danny finds out that Cam shot Will and attempts to bring her out at gunpoint, knowing he is going to die anyway, and plans to take her with him. Just as he steps out with Cam, a gunshot rings out. Danny has been shot through the back by Will. Will is pulled out of the ambulance and lays next to Danny, who tells him he is sorry before he dies. Amy arrives on the scene and becomes hysterical when she sees Will. Despite Cam being held back, she does what she can to help Will survive. She speaks to Amy and discreetly leaves some of the heist money in the baby's car seat, as Will had earlier asked Cam to leave some for her. Will is taken into custody and monitored at the hospital. Amy watches him from the window with their baby, and Will manages to wave at them. Another officer takes Zach's statement and asks who shot him. He points to Will and says that he saved his life. Cam then goes to Lindsay's room and holds her hand as she wakes up. She later leaves the hospital as it becomes nighttime. In Los Angeles, brothers Will and Danny Sharp pull off a bank robbery after Will tells Danny he needs money for his wife's cancer surgery. Things go awry when they take a cop, Zach, hostage and shoot him. When a paramedic named Cam tends to him, Will and Danny hijack the ambulance with her and Zach inside, leading police on a wild chase across the city for them. After several incidents of outrunning the police, as well as having to keep Zach from dying, the guys lead the police to a location where other gangsters and criminals retaliate with gunfire and explosives. After delivering the cut of money to their gangster employer, Poppy, He demands that Will and Danny leave Cam and Zach with him after his son gets killed by another cop. Will and Danny kill Poppy and his guys, but Cam accidentally shoots Will in the chaos. Once they are surrounded by cops, Danny attempts to kill Cam, but Will shoots and kills him first. Will is taken into custody at the hospital, but Zach tells other officers that Will saved his life. Cam also slips some of the heist money to Will's wife. The film begins in Los Angeles, a city that never seems to slow down. Cars fill the roads, people rush through their daily lives, and somewhere among all that noise, a man named Will Sharp is desperately trying to find a way to save the person he loves most. Will is a former soldier and a family man. He has a wife, Amy, and a baby, but the stability of his family is being destroyed by something completely outside his control. Amy has cancer, and the treatment she needs is extremely expensive. Will has already tried to get help through medical insurance, but the system gives him nothing useful. He spends his time being transferred from one department to another, listening to people explain policies and limitations while his wife's condition continues to get worse. This is one of the first things that makes the story work. Will is not introduced as a criminal looking for excitement or easy money. He is introduced as a desperate husband. He's trying to save his wife's life, and the system around him has left him feeling completely powerless. But desperation can push people into dangerous places. Will tells Amy that he is going to a job interview. In reality, he is going to meet his adopted brother Danny. The difference between the two brothers is immediately obvious. Will is trying to live a normal life. Danny has completely embraced the criminal world. Danny is a professional bank robber, and his house looks less like a home and more like a headquarters for a criminal operation. Stolen vehicles are scattered around the property, and his crew is preparing for another robbery. Danny immediately understands why Will has come to see him. He knows his brother well enough to realize that Will would not appear suddenly unless he was in serious trouble. When Will finally admits that he needs money for Amy's surgery, Danny offers him a solution. Danny is planning a bank robbery that very same day. For Will, this is a terrible choice. He knows exactly who Danny is. He knows that Danny's life is dangerous, and he understands that a bank robbery is not simply a matter of walking into a building, taking some money and walking away. But Will is looking at his wife's medical bills, his child, and the possibility that Amy may not survive without treatment. The film does a good job of making the decision uncomfortable. Will is not excited about joining the robbery. He's not a criminal at heart. He's a man who believes he has run out of options. At the same time, the movie introduces Cam Thompson, a paramedic whose personality is almost the complete opposite of Will's. Cam is highly skilled, confident, and extremely capable, but she keeps people at a distance. Cam and her new partner Scott are called to the scene of a serious accident. A young girl named Lindsay has been impaled by a fence post after a car crash. The situation is horrifying, but Cam remains calm. She speaks to the child, keeps her focused, and carefully works with the rescue team to free her. This scene tells us a lot about Cam without needing a long explanation. She knows how to deal with emergencies. She knows how to stay focused when everyone else is panicking. Later, Scott tells Cam that Lindsay is going to survive. Cam simply accepts the information and moves on. She does not want to become emotionally involved with every patient she treats. Scott, however, has heard about Cam's reputation. She is considered one of the best paramedics in the city, but she is also known as someone who is difficult to work with. Other paramedics do not want to work alongside her. Cam's attitude is understandable. Working in emergency medicine means constantly seeing people at their worst moments. If she became emotionally attached to every patient, she would eventually destroy herself. So she has created a wall between herself and the people she saves. The movie will eventually challenge that wall. While Cam is working, Will and Danny are preparing for the bank robbery. The robbery begins with a strange combination of tension and dark humor. Two police officers, Zach and Mark, arrive near the bank. Zach has a crush on one of the bank tellers and wants to ask her out. Mark encourages him to go inside and talk to her. Unfortunately for Zach, he has no idea that he is walking directly into an active bank robbery. Danny and his crew have already taken control of the bank. They are wearing disguises and holding the employees at gunpoint. Danny is pretending to be the bank manager when Zach enters. Zach does not immediately understand what is happening. He is simply focused on finding the teller he likes. He asks Danny for her name and Danny gives him a fake answer. But when Zach finally reaches the teller's window, he sees her real name and realizes something is wrong. The situation changes instantly. Danny pulls out his weapon and the rest of the criminals draw their guns. Zach is trapped inside the bank with a group of armed robbers. Danny forces him to act naturally, but the situation is already becoming dangerous. Outside, Mark is still unaware of the robbery. He even helps one of the criminals when his truck appears to have a problem. This moment is almost absurd because Mark is unknowingly assisting a bank robber. But the disguise eventually falls apart. The criminal tries to run Mark over, but Mark manages to escape. At that point, the police realize what is happening and the bank robbery explodes into chaos. Danny and the others attempt to escape with Zach as a hostage. A gunfight breaks out between the criminals and the police. Danny's crew members are killed one by one. Zach fights back against Danny and Will shoots him. This is the moment when Will crosses the line. Until now, he has been a desperate man who agreed to participate in a robbery. But now he has shot a police officer. The situation is no longer something he can simply walk away from. Danny wants to leave Zach behind. Will is horrified by what has happened, but he also knows that Zach is seriously injured. When Cam and Scott arrive, they begin treating Zach. The situation becomes even more complicated when Danny forces Scott out of the ambulance and takes his uniform. The criminals then hijack the ambulance. Cam is suddenly trapped inside with Danny, Will, and the badly wounded Zach. This is where the movie truly begins. The bank robbery was only the beginning. The real story is now a desperate race through Los Angeles. Danny sits in the back of the ambulance with a gun. Cam is forced to drive. Will is caught between his brother and the injured police officer. The police quickly realize that the ambulance has been stolen, but they cannot simply destroy it because Zach is inside and desperately needs medical attention. That creates the central tension of the chase. The police cannot treat the ambulance like an ordinary getaway vehicle. They have to stop the criminals while also keeping the wounded officer alive. Cam understands that Zach's condition is getting worse. She is a paramedic, not a surgeon, and the injuries he has suffered are far beyond what she can normally treat inside an ambulance. Still, she refuses to give up. The police begin closing in. Danny tries to stay in control, but the situation is already slipping away from him. His original plan was a robbery. Now he is involved in a hostage situation, a police chase, and a medical emergency. The ambulance stops in an alley when the criminals realize that helicopters are searching for them. Cam tries to escape, but Danny catches her and forces her back inside. At this point, Cam begins to understand the brothers. Danny is clearly the leader. He is aggressive, unpredictable, and willing to kill anyone who gets in his way. Will is different. Will is frightened. He's trying to keep his brother calm while also helping Cam save Zach. He does not want more people to die. The film uses this difference between the brothers to create much of its emotional tension. Danny sees the robbery as a job. Will sees it as a disaster that keeps becoming worse. Danny contacts criminals who can help them escape. They make their way toward Boyle Heights, where other gangsters are preparing a vehicle equipped with a machine gun. The criminals are not simply waiting to help them escape. They are preparing for war. Meanwhile, Cam continues trying to keep Zach alive. Zach is losing blood. His condition becomes critical, and Cam realizes that she needs help from someone with more medical knowledge. She contacts Colin, an ex-boyfriend who is a doctor. Colin is able to connect her with other surgeons through a video call. Suddenly, the back of the stolen ambulance becomes an improvised operating room. This is one of the most intense parts of the movie. Cam has to perform a procedure that she has never performed before. She is working under pressure inside a moving vehicle while armed criminals are surrounding her. Zach wakes up during the procedure and begins to panic. Will is forced to knock him unconscious because he is moving too much and could make the situation even worse. The scene is uncomfortable because Will is not acting like a trained doctor. He is simply trying to help keep the man alive. Cam is forced to open Zach's abdomen and search for the source of the bleeding. When she reaches the spleen, the situation becomes even more dangerous. The spleen ruptures. Cam has to use a hair clip to control the bleeding. It is an unbelievable situation, but the film's fast pace keeps the scene moving. There is no time to question whether this is the perfect medical procedure. The characters are simply trying to keep Zach alive for another few minutes. Outside, the police are still searching. Captain Monroe is leading the operation. The FBI also becomes involved when Agent Anson Clark arrives. Clark knows Danny. He knows Danny's history and understands the kind of criminal he is dealing with. Danny was raised around crime, and his father played a major role in shaping his life. Clark does not see Danny as an ordinary bank robber. He understands that Danny is dangerous, but he also knows that the situation is complicated by the fact that a wounded police officer is trapped inside the ambulance. The police eventually receive information from Colin suggesting that the medical procedure may have failed. The video connection had been interrupted at the worst possible moment. Monroe assumes Zach may be dead. That changes the police response. Snipers are positioned and the authorities prepare to stop the ambulance. But Cam manages to contact Agent Clark and tells him that Zach is still alive. She then spots the snipers and warns Will and Danny. The ambulance is hit by gunfire, but the brothers manage to escape. They drive aggressively through the streets, using the ambulance to push through police vehicles and create chaos. The chase becomes increasingly destructive. Cars crash, police vehicles are damaged. The ambulance tears through the city while Cam continues trying to keep Zach alive. Danny eventually decides that Cam is no longer useful. He attempts to kill her. This is another important moment in the relationship between the brothers. Will has been trying to control Danny from the beginning, but Danny is becoming more unstable. The robbery has completely fallen apart, and Danny is now thinking only about survival. Will tries to calm him down by playing music. It is a strange moment, but it reveals how well Will understands his brother. Music has a calming effect on Danny, and Will hopes it will stop him from killing Cam. But Danny is too far gone. During the journey, Cam discovers more about Will. She learns that he is a veteran, a husband, and a father. Then Amy calls him. Amy believes Will is at the job interview he claimed to be attending. She thinks he is trying to find a normal job so that he can support the family. Will cannot tell her the truth. He is sitting inside a stolen ambulance surrounded by police with his wounded brother and an injured officer. He has already shot a police officer and is now involved in a massive chase. Yet, when Amy speaks to him, Will tries to act normal. This is one of the strongest emotional moments in the story because it shows the life Will is trying to return to. Amy does not know what has happened. She does not know that her husband has become part of a bank robbery. She does not know that he is running from the police. She only knows that he is supposed to be looking for a job. The contrast between the two realities makes Will's situation even more tragic. The ambulance eventually reaches the Los Angeles River. Danny begins shooting at a police helicopter while Will drives. At this stage, the chase has become a full-scale war. The original robbery feels like something that happened hours ago, even though the entire story has unfolded in a short period of time. The brothers eventually reach the criminals waiting for them. Castro begins spray painting the ambulance to disguise it, but the police are already preparing to attack. Monroe and his team move in. The criminals respond with overwhelming violence. A vehicle equipped with a machine gun drives directly toward the police and opens fire. The attack is devastating. People are killed, and Captain Monroe is among the victims. The violence is no longer limited to the brothers. The entire situation has become a disaster involving criminals, police, and innocent people caught in the middle. Then Poppy's son, Roberto, sends another ambulance loaded with explosives toward the police. The vehicle explodes, causing even more destruction. Mark sees Roberto and chases him. This creates a personal confrontation between the two officers and the criminals. Roberto attempts to escape, but Mark catches up with him. During the struggle, Roberto accidentally shoots himself. Poppy witnesses his son's death through the news. For Poppy, the situation is no longer about money. He wants revenge. The brothers eventually arrive at Poppy's location with the stolen ambulance and the money. They are supposed to deliver his share of the robbery. Instead, they are greeted by an angry crime boss who has just watched his son die. Poppy blames the brothers. He demands that Cam and Zach be left behind. Danny is willing to consider it. Will is not. The relationship between the two brothers finally reaches its breaking point. Throughout the movie, Will has followed Danny because he needed money. He has allowed himself to be pulled deeper and deeper into Danny's criminal world. But now he has reached the point where he has to decide what kind of person he is going to be. He can continue following Danny, or he can protect Cam and Zach. Will and Danny turn against Poppy and his men. The brothers fight together. For a brief moment, they are united again. They kill Poppy and his gang, and the immediate threat disappears. But the situation has not been solved. Will has been shot. In the chaos, Cam accidentally shoots him. Danny finds Will wounded and initially believes that one of Poppy's men shot him. The brothers escape in the ambulance once again, but now the police are surrounding them. Will is seriously injured. Zach is still in the back. Cam is trapped. Danny realizes that there is no way out. Agent Clark attempts to contact him and asks him to surrender. Danny refuses. Then he discovers that Cam was the person who shot Will. Danny becomes furious. He decides that he will not surrender without killing Cam. At this point, Danny knows that he is going to die. He is surrounded by police and has nowhere left to run. So he plans to take Cam with him. Danny forces Cam out of the ambulance at gunpoint. The police prepare to shoot. Then a gunshot is heard. Danny is hit from behind. The person who shot him is Will. Despite his injuries, Will has managed to survive long enough to stop his brother. Danny falls. The brothers lie next to each other. Danny finally apologizes to Will. Then he dies. The moment is surprisingly emotional because Danny and Will have spent the entire movie fighting to survive, but their relationship has always remained at the center of the story. Danny is responsible for much of the disaster. He dragged Will into the robbery. He endangered Amy's future. He put Cam and Zach in danger. He killed people. But he is still Will's brother. That is what makes his death complicated. Will does not simply defeat a villain. He loses the person who pulled him into the nightmare in the first place. After Danny dies, Will is taken into custody. Amy arrives at the scene with their baby. She has no idea what has happened. When she sees Will injured and surrounded by police, she becomes hysterical. Will is taken to the hospital, and Amy watches him from outside. Despite everything, Will is still alive. Cam also survives. She remembers that Will had earlier asked her to leave some of the stolen money for Amy. Cam secretly places some of the money in the baby's car seat. It is a small action, but it says a lot about Cam. At the beginning of the film, she insisted that she did not become emotionally attached to her patients. She treated people and moved on. But after everything that happened, she has changed. Will was a criminal, but he also saved Zach's life. He was a desperate man who made terrible decisions while trying to save his wife. Cam understands that. She chooses to help his family. Zach also gives Will a chance. When another officer asks him who shot him, Zach points to Will. But then he explains that Will saved his life. This is important because Will did shoot Zach. He was responsible for the injury, but he also spent the entire chase helping keep Zach alive. The film refuses to present Will as completely innocent or completely evil. He made terrible choices. He committed a crime. He shot a police officer. But he also risked his life to save that same officer. That contradiction is what makes his character interesting. The film ends with Cam returning to the hospital where Lindsay is being treated. The young girl from the opening scene is still alive. Cam holds her hand as she wakes up. This moment connects the beginning and the end of the story. At the beginning, Cam tries to keep emotional distance from Lindsay. At the end, she is willing to hold her hand. She has changed. The experience with Will and Zach has reminded her that the people she treats are not simply cases or emergencies. They are human beings. As night falls over Los Angeles, Cam leaves the hospital. The city continues moving. The sirens fade. The chaos is over. But the consequences remain. Will is alive, but he will face the law. Amy has lost the normal life she thought she had. Zach has survived a terrifying experience. Cam has been changed by everything that happened, and Danny is dead. What makes the film effective is the way it turns a simple bank robbery into a constantly escalating nightmare. The original plan is supposed to be quick and controlled. Danny believes he knows exactly what he is doing, but one unexpected person changes everything. Zach walks into the bank. Will shoots him. Cam arrives. The ambulance is stolen. A police chase begins. A medical emergency develops. Criminal gangs become involved. The police launch a massive operation, and before long, the entire city is caught in the middle. The story works because every decision creates another problem. Will joins the robbery because he needs money. The robbery goes wrong because Zach arrives. Zach is shot because the criminals cannot allow him to identify them. The ambulance is hijacked because Zach needs immediate medical treatment. The police chase them because the ambulance has been stolen. The criminals seek help from gangs because the police are closing in. The gangs attack the police because the situation becomes a war. Poppy wants revenge because his son dies. The brothers kill Poppy because he wants to take Cam and Zach. Will is shot during the escape. Danny tries to kill Cam, and Will ultimately kills Danny. The story is built around a chain reaction. One desperate decision leads to another, and that is the main message of the film. Will's first decision seems understandable. He needs money to save his wife. But once he chooses to join the robbery, he loses control of his life. The film asks an interesting question. How far would someone go to save the person they love? Will's answer is almost everything. He is willing to risk his freedom. He is willing to commit a robbery. He is willing to shoot a police officer. He is willing to fight criminals. But eventually, he has to decide whether saving his family means becoming the kind of person he never wanted to be. That is the real battle inside the character. Danny, on the other hand, has already accepted the criminal life. He does not question his decisions in the same way. For Danny, violence is simply a tool. When someone becomes a problem, he eliminates them. When the police get close, he fights them. When Cam becomes inconvenient, he tries to kill her. Danny believes that survival is the only rule. Will still has a conscience. That difference between them becomes more obvious as the story progresses. At first, Will follows Danny because he needs him. By the end, Will has to stop Danny. The brothers begin the film on the same side. They end the film facing each other. The film also uses Cam as the moral center of the story. She is surrounded by criminals, police officers, and violence, but her focus remains on saving Zach. She could have escaped several times. She could have focused only on protecting herself, but she refuses to let Zach die. Even when she is threatened, she continues working. Even when she is exhausted, she keeps trying. The relationship between Cam and Will is also interesting because they are both trapped by circumstances. Will is trapped by his desperate need to save Amy. Cam is trapped inside the ambulance. Neither of them wants to be there. But as the story continues, they begin to understand each other. Cam sees that Will is not like Danny. Will sees that Cam is not simply a paramedic doing her job. She is a person who refuses to give up. Their relationship develops through the pressure of the situation rather than through long conversations. That makes it feel natural. They are forced to work together. They argue. They distrust each other. But they also begin to cooperate. When Cam needs help with Zach, Will assists her. When Will is injured, Cam tries to save him. By the end, Cam even helps Will's family. The movie is also built around the idea of movement. The characters are almost never allowed to stop. The ambulance is constantly moving through Los Angeles. The story moves from the bank to the streets, from the streets to the river, from the river to the criminal hideout, and finally to the hospital. This constant movement gives the film its energy. There is always another obstacle, another police vehicle, another criminal, another medical emergency, another decision. That pace is one of the film's biggest strengths. The movie does not give the audience much time to relax. Just when it seems that the characters may have escaped, another problem appears. The ambulance is one of the most important elements of the story because it becomes almost a character itself. It begins as a vehicle used to save lives. Then it becomes a getaway vehicle. Then it becomes a moving operating room. Then it becomes a target for the police. The same ambulance serves completely different purposes depending on who controls it. For Cam, it represents her job. For Danny, it represents escape. For Will, it becomes the only place where he can try to save Zach. For the police, it becomes a dangerous target that they cannot simply destroy. That creates much of the tension. The film also makes Los Angeles feel like a massive maze. The city is not just a background. The streets, highways, alleys, river, and crowded roads all become part of the chase. The characters use the city to escape, hide, and attack. The police know the city, but Danny also knows how to move through it. The result is a chase that constantly changes direction. One moment the ambulance is surrounded, the next moment it is racing through traffic, then it is being attacked by criminals. Then it is escaping through another route. The action never feels completely settled. There is always another turn coming. The emotional core of the movie, however, remains Will's family. Everything begins with Amy. Will's entire journey is motivated by the desire to save his wife. That motivation is what makes his decisions understandable even when they become wrong. He is not chasing money because he wants a better car or a luxurious lifestyle. He wants to pay for medical treatment. He wants his child to grow up with a mother. That does not excuse what he does, but it explains why he does it. And that is an important difference. The film does not say that desperation makes crime acceptable. Instead, it shows how quickly one desperate decision can destroy someone's life. Will begins the day as a husband pretending to attend a job interview. By the end of the day, he is a wounded criminal surrounded by police. He has participated in a bank robbery. He has shot a police officer. He has helped save that officer's life. He has killed gangsters. He has killed his own brother. And he is still fighting to return to his family. That is an incredible transformation to happen in a single day. The film's biggest strength is its ability to keep raising the stakes. The story begins with a personal problem. Will needs money. Then it becomes a robbery. Then a hostage situation. Then a medical emergency. Then a police chase. Then a citywide battle. Then a personal conflict between brothers. Every stage grows larger than the previous one. The movie is not perfect. Some events become extremely exaggerated. The medical procedures inside the ambulance are dramatic and sometimes difficult to believe. The chase becomes so destructive that the number of accidents and explosions feels almost impossible. The criminals also seem to have access to an enormous amount of firepower. But the movie is not trying to be a quiet, realistic crime drama. It is a high-speed action thriller. Its purpose is to keep the audience moving from one crisis to another. And in that respect, it succeeds. The performances are also important. Will is played as a man who is constantly under pressure. He is not naturally violent, and that makes his transformation difficult to watch. Every time he pulls the trigger or makes another criminal decision, it feels like he is moving further away from the person he wanted to be. Danny is the opposite. He is confident, aggressive, and unpredictable. He is the kind of person who can turn a simple situation into a disaster because he always believes that violence will solve the problem. The chemistry between the brothers is one of the strongest parts of the movie. They clearly care about each other, but they are also completely different people. Will wants a family. Danny wants control. Will wants to escape the criminal world. Danny is comfortable inside it. Will is trying to protect his future. Danny is living in the present. That conflict eventually becomes impossible to avoid. Cam is also a strong character because she is not simply the person who needs to be rescued. She is the person keeping everyone alive. Oh, without Cam, Zach would die. Without Cam, the ambulance would not continue moving. Without Cam, the criminals would have no medical knowledge to rely on. She is constantly surrounded by danger, but she remains focused. The opening scene with Lindsay also becomes more important after the ending. At first, Cam claims that she does not form attachments, but after everything she experiences, she returns to the little girl. She holds her hand again. That small moment shows that Cam has changed. She is no longer pretending that emotional distance is the only way to survive. Sometimes caring about people is what gives the job meaning. The final moments of the film are therefore quieter than the rest of the story. The gunfire is over. The chase is finished. The criminals are dead or arrested. The police have regained control. But the characters are left with the consequences. Will may have survived physically, but his life will never be the same. Amy may finally have access to the money she needs, but that money came from a terrible chain of events. Zach survived because of the same man who shot him. Cam saved a man she was originally forced to treat. And Danny's life ends because the brother he pulled into crime ultimately refuses to let him kill another innocent person. The story is ultimately about choices. Not one huge decision, but a series of small decisions. Will chooses to meet Danny. Then he chooses to join the robbery. Then he chooses to help Zach. Then he chooses to fight Poppy. Then he chooses to stop Danny. Every decision changes the direction of his life. That is what makes the story work beyond the action. Underneath the explosions and car chases, it is a story about a man who believes he has no options. But every time he makes a decision, he creates new options and new consequences. By the end, Will has lost almost everything. But he is still alive, and he has made one final choice. He chooses to stop Danny. He chooses to save Cam. He chooses to protect someone else, even though he knows he may not survive. That final choice separates Will from the man he was at the beginning of the film. At the beginning, he is willing to commit a crime to save his wife. At the end, he is willing to sacrifice himself to save another person. That does not erase his crimes, but it shows that he has not completely lost his humanity. And that is why the ending works. The film begins with a man who believes money is the only way to save his family. It ends with a man realizing that the choices he makes matter just as much as the money he is trying to obtain. The action is loud. The chase is destructive. The criminals are ruthless. The police are under enormous pressure. But the heart of the story is still a desperate husband trying to save the people he loves. And sometimes the worst decisions begin with the best intentions. What makes the story even more interesting is that the real conflict is not simply between criminals and the police. The deeper conflict is between different ideas of responsibility. Will believes he has a responsibility to his wife and child. That responsibility becomes so powerful that he is willing to break the law. Danny believes he has a responsibility to his brother. He thinks he is helping Will by giving him a way to make money quickly. Cam believes she has a responsibility to her patient. The police believe they have a responsibility to protect the public and capture the criminals. All of these responsibilities collide during the story. The problem is that every character believes they are doing what they have to do. Will tells himself that he has no choice. Danny tells himself that he is helping his brother. Cam tells herself that Zach must survive. The police tell themselves that the ambulance must be stopped, and because everyone is acting according to their own sense of duty, the situation becomes more dangerous with every passing minute. That is what makes the story so intense. There is no single person controlling the entire situation. Danny starts the robbery, but he loses control almost immediately. Will joins the robbery, but he is not prepared for what happens next. Cam is forced into the situation, but she eventually becomes one of the most important people inside the ambulance. The police chase the ambulance, but they cannot use all their power because Zach is inside. The criminals outside try to help Danny, but they only create more violence. Everyone is reacting to the previous decision. That is why the story feels like a chain reaction. The bank robbery itself is important because it introduces the central problems of the film, the difference between planning and reality. Danny has clearly planned the robbery carefully. He has his crew, he has vehicles, he has a method of getting the money. He knows how to control people. But planning only works when everything happens according to plan. The moment Zach walks into the bank, the entire operation changes. Danny is forced to improvise. Then Will shoots Zach. Then the police arrive. Then the ambulance becomes involved. Danny is constantly reacting to new problems. The more he reacts, the worse the situation becomes. This is one of the reasons Danny becomes increasingly unstable. At the beginning, he is calm and confident. He believes he is smarter than everyone else. But as the story continues, he begins to realize that he cannot control the situation. His own decisions are creating more problems. Instead of accepting that, he responds with more violence. That is Danny's biggest weakness. Whenever something goes wrong, he does not slow down and think. He simply becomes more aggressive. When Zach is shot, Danny wants to leave him behind. When Cam becomes difficult, Danny threatens her. When the police get close, Danny attacks them. When Poppy becomes a threat, Danny kills him. When he discovers that Cam shot Will, he wants to kill her. Danny keeps choosing the most violent solution. Will, however, constantly tries to find another way. He helps Cam with Zach. He tries to calm Danny. He helps keep the ambulance moving. He tries to prevent more people from being killed. The difference between the brothers becomes clearer and clearer. Danny sees Will's hesitation as weakness. But the film suggests that Will's hesitation is actually what makes him human. Danny has completely accepted the criminal world. Will has not. Even after everything he does, Will still feels the weight of his choices. He is visibly affected by the people who are injured and killed. Danny is not. That contrast becomes especially important when the brothers arrive at Poppy's location. Poppy represents the world Danny has chosen. He is surrounded by criminals who treat violence as ordinary. To them, people are simply obstacles. Cam and Zach are not human beings. They are problems that need to be removed. Will cannot accept that. This is the point where his relationship with Danny finally reaches its limit. Will has followed Danny because of Amy. He has tolerated Danny's behavior because he needed the money. But when Danny becomes willing to sacrifice Cam and Zach, Will realizes that he cannot continue following him. The decision to fight Poppy and his men is therefore more than another action scene. It is Will rejecting the world Danny represents. For the first time, Will is not simply reacting to a problem. He is making his own choice. The film also uses the relationship between Will and Amy to show what Will is fighting for. Amy is not present during most of the action, but she is always in Will's mind. Every decision he makes is connected to her. He is thinking about the surgery. He is thinking about their child. He is thinking about the future they are supposed to have together. That makes his conversation with Amy during the chase particularly painful. She believes he is attending a job interview. She believes he is trying to make a better life for them. In reality, he is running from the police. Will is forced to lie to the person he is doing everything for. That is the tragedy of his situation. He wants to save Amy, but every step he takes to save her takes him further away from the life he wants to return to. The film does not give Will an easy answer. Even if he successfully escapes with the money, he will still have to live with what he has done. He has shot Zach. He has participated in a bank robbery. He has been involved in multiple deaths. The money may help pay for Amy's treatment, but it cannot erase those actions. This is what makes the ending more complicated than a simple happy ending. Will survives. Amy sees him. The baby is safe. Cam helps leave money for the family, but Will is still arrested. There is no magical solution. The crime still has consequences. The film allows Will to survive without pretending that everything is suddenly perfect. That is one of the strongest aspects of the ending. Zach's decision to say that Will saved his life also adds another layer to the story. Zach has every reason to hate Will. Will shot him. Will helped kidnap him. Will was part of the robbery that caused the entire situation. But Zach also knows that Will helped keep him alive. He knows that Will could have allowed him to die. Instead, Will worked with Cam to save him. Zach recognizes the difference between the man who shot him and the man who later tried to save him. That does not mean he forgets what happened, but it means he is willing to acknowledge the truth. Will is not simply a monster. He is a desperate man who made terrible choices. The movie's moral position is therefore complicated. It does not say that Will is innocent. It does not say that his actions are justified. But it also does not present him as completely evil. The story asks the audience to understand him without necessarily excusing him. That is a difficult balance, and the character works because the film maintains that balance for most of the story. The same thing can be said about Danny. Danny is responsible for the robbery. He is responsible for bringing Will into the criminal world. He is responsible for much of the violence that follows. But the film also shows that Danny genuinely cares about Will. His idea of love is completely corrupted by his criminal lifestyle. He believes that giving Will money is helping him. He believes that protecting his brother means bringing him into the robbery. He does not understand that he is destroying Will's life. This is what makes Danny tragic. He is not a good person, but he is not completely without emotion. His relationship with Will is real. That is why his death affects Will so deeply. Danny's final apology is brief, but it carries a lot of weight. For most of the film, Danny is confident and aggressive. He rarely admits fault. He does not apologize to the people he hurts, but in his final moments he apologizes to Will. It is as if he finally understands that he pulled his brother into a world Will never truly belonged in. Will does not get the chance to respond. Danny dies before the brothers can repair their relationship. That is the tragedy. They survive the robbery. They survive the police chase. They survive the gangs, but they do not survive each other. The action sequences are another major part of the movie. The film is designed around movement and destruction. The ambulance chase is the centerpiece. Instead of following a normal getaway car, the movie follows an emergency vehicle that is supposed to be saving lives. That creates an unusual contrast. The ambulance has flashing lights. People naturally move out of its way. The police are hesitant to use deadly force. The criminals can use the vehicle to move through the city. But the same vehicle is also carrying a dying police officer. This gives every action sequence a second layer of tension. When the ambulance crashes through traffic, the audience is not only thinking about whether the criminals will escape, they are also thinking about whether Zach will survive. When the police shoot at the vehicle, there is always the question of whether the bullets will hit the wounded officer. When Danny wants to abandon Cam, she is still the only person capable of treating Zach. The ambulance becomes a moving balance between violence and survival. The action is also used to show the difference between Will and Danny. Danny enjoys the chaos. He reacts to danger with excitement and aggression. Will is constantly looking for a way out. He is not comfortable with the violence. Even when he participates in it, he appears disturbed by it. This difference becomes particularly obvious during the chase. Danny wants to keep pushing forward. Will is more concerned with the people around them. He is thinking about Cam. He is thinking about Zach. He is thinking about Amy. Danny is thinking about escape. The film's use of the Los Angeles River is also effective. The river becomes a temporary escape route. It gives the characters a different environment from the crowded city streets. But even there, they are not safe. The police helicopters continue searching for them. Danny shoots at the helicopter. The situation remains dangerous. There is no place where the brothers can truly hide. The city seems enormous, but the police continue closing in. This creates the feeling that their escape is impossible from the beginning. The film also shows how quickly criminal networks can become involved. Danny has connections everywhere. When he needs a vehicle, he knows someone. When he needs a place to go, he knows someone. When he needs weapons, he knows someone. This is one of the reasons Agent Clark understands Danny so well. Danny is not simply a lone criminal. He is connected to an entire network. That network allows him to keep escaping, but it also creates more danger. Every person Danny contacts brings another criminal into the situation. Every new criminal brings more weapons, and every new weapon makes the situation more violent. Poppy is a perfect example of this. Danny goes to Poppy because he needs help. But Poppy's involvement makes everything worse. Poppy has his own anger and his own interests. When his son dies, the relationship changes immediately. Danny is no longer simply a criminal delivering money. He becomes someone Poppy wants to punish. This is another example of Danny's inability to control the consequences of his decisions. He believes his criminal connections will protect him. Instead, they become another threat. The film also gives Mark a surprisingly important role. At first, Mark seems like a supporting police officer. He is encouraging Zach to talk to the bank teller. He is nearby when the robbery begins. He helps search for Zach, but later Mark becomes involved in the confrontation with Roberto. His character helps show the human side of the police officers. Zach is not just a uniform. He is a young officer with a crush on someone. Mark is not just a police officer chasing criminals. He is a friend trying to protect Zach. This makes Zach's injury more meaningful. The police are not simply chasing criminals because they want to win. They are trying to save one of their own. That is why Monroe is so cautious. He knows that every decision could result in Zach's death. The police are forced to balance two competing goals. They need to stop the criminals, but they also need to keep Zach alive. That makes the chase more difficult than a normal police pursuit. The film also explores the difference between professional skill and emotional attachment through Cam. At the beginning, Cam believes that the best way to survive her job is to avoid caring too much. She is excellent at treating patients, but she refuses to let them become part of her personal life. Scott tells her that other paramedics do not want to work with her. This suggests that Cam's emotional distance has become a problem. She is technically brilliant, but personally isolated. The experience with Zach forces her to confront that. She cannot simply treat him and move on. She is trapped with him for hours. She hears him struggle. She sees him bleed. She fights to keep him alive. She has to make decisions that could determine whether he lives or dies. By the end, Zach is no longer just a patient. He is a person she has fought to save. The same thing happens with Will. At first, Will is simply one of the criminals holding her hostage, but as she learns about his family, she begins to understand him. She sees him trying to help Zach. She sees him trying to control Danny. She sees that he is not comfortable with the violence around him. This does not make her trust him completely, but it changes how she sees him. That is why she helps his family at the end. The money she leaves behind is not a reward for being innocent. It is an act of compassion. She knows that Will's wife needs help. She knows that Will risked his life to save Zach. She also knows that the money came from a crime, so her decision is morally complicated as well. She is not simply following the law, she is making a human decision. The ending with Lindsay completes Cam's character arc. At the beginning, Lindsay is a little girl Cam saves. Cam immediately tries to emotionally distance herself from the situation. At the end, she returns to Lindsay. This time, she allows herself to connect. She holds the girl's hand. It is a quiet moment, but it tells us that Cam has changed more than anyone else. The entire experience has forced her to accept that caring is not necessarily weakness. Sometimes it is the reason people continue fighting. That idea also applies to Will. Will's love for Amy is what drives him into the robbery, but his concern for Zach and Cam eventually pushes him to fight against Danny. His emotions lead him into trouble, but they also help him do the right thing later. The film, therefore, does not treat emotion as something simple. Love can make people desperate. Fear can make people violent. Guilt can make people change. Compassion can make people take risks. Every major character is driven by emotion. Danny is driven by loyalty and anger. Will is driven by love and desperation. Cam is driven by professional responsibility. Poppy is driven by revenge. The police are driven by duty. The story works because these emotions collide. Another major theme is the failure of systems. Will's first problem is not created by the criminal world. It begins with the medical insurance system. He needs help paying for his wife's treatment. He tries to find a legal solution, but he receives no meaningful assistance. He is left frustrated and desperate. The film uses this to explain why he eventually turns to Danny. This does not excuse the robbery, but it establishes the pressure that pushes him there. Will is a man who tried to do things normally. He had a job. He had a family. He had a life. But when his wife becomes seriously ill, the normal system does not provide the help he needs. That creates the temptation to take an illegal shortcut. The story suggests that desperation can grow when people feel abandoned. Will is not searching for a life of crime. He is searching for a way to pay a medical bill. But the decision to take the shortcut creates consequences that are far greater than the original problem. The film also shows the dangers of relying on criminal networks. Danny believes that he can solve problems through connections, but every connection has its own agenda. Poppy wants money, Castro wants to help, but the situation becomes dangerous. Other criminals want to survive. Nobody is truly loyal except when it benefits them. Will is the only person who is genuinely trying to save lives. That is why he eventually becomes separated from Danny's world. He realizes that the criminal network does not care about his family. It only cares about money and survival. Danny may care about Will, but the people around him do not. That is why Will must ultimately make his own choice. The movie also raises questions about whether people can escape their past. Danny has been shaped by his father. Agent Clark explains that Danny's criminal life was influenced by the environment he grew up in. This suggests that Danny did not simply wake up one day and decide to become a criminal. He was raised around crime. His father introduced him to that world. Danny became comfortable with violence, but the film does not use his background as an excuse. A person's past can explain their behavior without justifying it. Danny still makes his own decisions. He chooses to rob the bank. He chooses to use violence. He chooses to threaten Cam. He chooses to continue even when the situation becomes impossible. Will's story is different because he is still capable of changing direction. He has been influenced by Danny, but he is not completely controlled by him. The final confrontation proves that. Will's past with Danny does not determine his future. He is able to make a different choice. The relationship between the brothers is therefore the emotional center of the movie. The action is what keeps the story moving, but the relationship is what gives the action meaning. Without Will and Danny, the movie would simply be a chase. With them, the chase becomes a story about two brothers who have chosen completely different paths. One brother wants to escape the criminal world, the other has built his entire identity inside it. One brother is trying to save his family, the other believes he is saving his brother by dragging him into crime. Both think they are helping. Both are wrong in different ways. Danny thinks money can solve Will's problem. Will thinks he can enter the criminal world temporarily and leave once he has enough money. Neither understands that some choices cannot simply be reversed. Once Will joins the robbery, he cannot go back to being the man who left home that morning. Once Danny starts killing people, he cannot simply surrender and expect everything to be forgiven. Their decisions follow them. The film's title and central concept are also connected to this idea. The ambulance is supposed to carry people away from danger. But here it becomes the center of danger. The vehicle that normally represents help and emergency assistance becomes a symbol of chaos. Inside the ambulance, Cam is trying to save lives. Danny is trying to escape. Will is trying to protect his family and keep Zach alive. All of these goals exist in the same small space. That is why the scenes inside the ambulance are so effective. The characters cannot escape from each other. They are physically trapped together. Their conflicts become unavoidable. Danny cannot simply leave Will. Will cannot simply leave Cam. Cam cannot simply leave Zach. Everyone is connected. The ambulance becomes a pressure cooker. Every conversation matters. Every movement can become dangerous. Every decision can change the situation. A confined environment helps the film maintain tension, even when the action slows down. The medical scenes are especially important because they temporarily shift the film away from gunfire. For a few minutes, the main question is not whether the police will catch them. It is whether Zach will survive. Cam has to concentrate. Will has to help. Danny has to wait. Even Danny, who wants to control everything, is forced to depend on Cam. This is one of the few situations where violence cannot solve the problem. Danny can threaten Cam. But if he kills her, Zach dies. He needs her skills. that gives Cam power. Even while she is held at gunpoint, she remains essential. The film repeatedly creates situations where the characters depend on people they do not trust. Cam depends on Will. Will depends on Cam. Danny depends on both of them. The police depend on information from Cam. Everyone is connected by necessity. That makes the story more interesting than a simple good versus evil chase. Nobody is completely independent. The film also makes good use of time pressure. Zach is losing blood. The police are closing in. The helicopters are searching. The criminals are preparing attacks. Poppy wants revenge. Will is injured. Every character is running out of time. This creates a constant feeling that the situation is about to collapse. The audience knows that the characters cannot keep escaping forever. At some point, the ambulance will stop. At some point, someone will die. The tension comes from not knowing exactly when that moment will happen. The final confrontation feels inevitable because the story has been moving toward it from the beginning. Will and Danny cannot remain together forever. Will cannot continue following Danny's decisions. Danny cannot accept Will's moral hesitation. Their conflict is built into their personalities. The final gunshot is therefore not just an action moment. It is the conclusion of their relationship. Will finally chooses to stop Danny. The fact that he shoots him from behind is also significant. Will does not defeat Danny in a traditional heroic fight. He shoots him when Danny is about to kill Cam. It is an act of protection. Will knows that Danny is going to kill her. He knows the police are about to shoot them. He has no time to negotiate, so he makes the decision. This is the moment where Will becomes responsible for his own choices. He is no longer simply following Danny. He is choosing against him. That is why Danny's death has such emotional weight. Will does not simply lose his brother. He loses the person who brought him into the situation, but he also becomes free from Danny's control. The freedom comes at an enormous cost. The final hospital scenes are deliberately quieter. After the chaos, the story slows down. Will is in custody. Amy sees him. Cam visits Lindsay. Zach gives his statement. The characters are finally allowed to process what happened. The audience also gets a chance to breathe. The ending does not show Will walking away with his family as if nothing happened. He is still being monitored. He is still in legal trouble. His future is uncertain. But he is alive. Amy is alive. Their baby is safe. And the money Cam leaves behind may help Amy receive the treatment she needs. The film ends on a note that is hopeful but not completely happy. That is appropriate for the story. There is no way for everyone to win. Too many people have died. Too much damage has been done. But some lives are saved. Zach survives. Will survives. Cam survives. Lindsay survives. Amy still has hope. Sometimes that is the best outcome the story can offer. The film's greatest achievement is its ability to turn a simple crime story into a personal tragedy. At first, the story seems to be about a bank robbery. Then it becomes a chase. Then it becomes a medical survival story. Then it becomes a war between criminal groups and the police. But beneath all of that, it is about a man trying to save his family while losing control of his life. Will does not plan to become a criminal. He does not plan to shoot a police officer. He does not plan to hijack an ambulance. He does not plan to fight a criminal gang. He does not plan to kill his brother. But one decision leads to another. That is the frightening part of the story. The film shows how quickly a person can move from an ordinary problem to an extraordinary disaster. One morning, Will is a husband looking for a job. By the end of the day, he is a wounded bank robber in police custody. The transformation happens because he believes he has no other choice, and that is the tragedy. He is trying to save his family, but every step he takes creates another danger for them. The film also reminds us that intentions do not erase consequences. Will's reason for robbing the bank is understandable, but the people inside the bank still experience fear. Zach is still shot. The police officers are still attacked. People still die. The money may have been intended for Amy's treatment, but it came from violence. The story never completely ignores that. Will may be sympathetic, but he is not innocent. That makes him a much more interesting character. If he were simply a perfect man forced into crime, the story would be predictable. Instead, he makes mistakes. He becomes frightened. He makes bad decisions. He allows Danny to influence him. But he also tries to correct those decisions. That is what gives his character an arc. He begins by believing that saving his family justifies joining Danny. He ends by understanding that he cannot continue allowing Danny to decide what happens next. The story also shows that heroism can come from unexpected places. Cam is not a police officer. She is not carrying a weapon. She is not trained for combat. But she saves Zach's life under impossible circumstances. Will is a criminal, but he helps keep Zach alive. Zach is a police officer, but he later tells the truth about Will saving him. Even Cam, who initially tries to avoid emotional attachment, eventually helps Amy and the baby. The film constantly blurs the line between heroes and criminals. People can do terrible things and still make compassionate choices. People can be criminals and still save lives. People can be police officers and still make mistakes. The story is not interested in simple labels. It is interested in what people do when they are under pressure. That is why the final scene with Lindsay is so important. Cam has spent the entire story trying to maintain emotional distance. But when Lindsay wakes up, Cam holds her hand. She allows herself to care. The experience has changed her. Perhaps she realizes that emotional attachment is not always a weakness. Perhaps she realizes that the people she treats deserve more than technical medical care. Or perhaps she simply understands that sometimes one small gesture can matter. Whatever the reason, the moment provides a satisfying conclusion to her character. Cam begins the film emotionally closed off. She ends it, willing to connect. Will begins the film trying to save his family through crime. He ends it trying to save someone else from his own brother. Danny begins the film believing he controls everything. He ends the film realizing that he cannot escape the consequences of his actions. Zach begins the film as a young officer excited about asking a teller out. He ends the film fighting to survive. And Lindsay begins the film as a critically injured child. She ends the story alive. Each character goes through a transformation. That is why the movie feels larger than a simple action film. The action is spectacular, but the character journeys give it meaning. The story is also a reminder that people do not always know how strong they are until they are forced into impossible situations. Cam never expects to perform surgery in the back of an ambulance. Will never expects to become involved in a bank robbery. Zach never expects to become a hostage. Mark never expects to chase a criminal through the city. Everyone is pushed beyond their normal limits. Some characters break under that pressure. Others discover abilities they did not know they had. Cam proves that she can remain calm even when everything around her is falling apart. Will proves that he is capable of making a moral choice even after becoming involved in crime. Zach proves that survival can depend on the actions of someone you initially consider your enemy. The film also understands that the best action sequences are more effective when the audience cares about the people involved. A car crash is exciting, but a car crash involving people we care about is more intense. A shootout is exciting, but a shootout where Zach's life is at risk creates real tension. A chase is exciting, but a chase where Will is trying to save his brother while also protecting Cam and Zach becomes emotionally complicated. The film constantly places character emotions inside the action. That is why the biggest moments work. The final shootout is not simply about who has the better weapon. It is about whether Will allow Danny to kill Cam. The ambulance chase is not simply about whether the police can catch them. It is about whether Zach can survive. The bank robbery is not simply about whether Danny can steal the money. It is about whether Will cross a line he cannot return from. The action always connects back to the characters. That is the key to the film's success. Of course, there are moments where the story becomes extremely exaggerated. The amount of destruction during the chase is enormous. The criminals have access to powerful weapons. The medical situation inside the ambulance becomes almost impossible. The number of times the characters escape from situations that seem completely hopeless is also remarkable. But the movie embraces its own intensity. It is not trying to be a slow, realistic police investigation. It is a high-energy thriller built around one increasingly disastrous day. The audience is meant to be pulled from one crisis into the next, and the film succeeds at creating that feeling. The story rarely becomes boring because the situation is always changing. The biggest question is not whether the characters will face another problem. The question is what kind of problem will come next. The movie also benefits from the fact that the characters are constantly forced to work together. Will and Cam are not friends. They are not allies by choice. But they must cooperate. Cam needs Will's help. Will needs Cam's medical knowledge. Danny needs both of them. This creates tension in almost every scene. A single disagreement could result in someone's death. The characters cannot simply walk away from each other. They are trapped together. That is the foundation of the film. The relationship between Will and Cam becomes particularly interesting because both of them are trying to protect someone. Will is trying to protect Amy. Cam is trying to protect Zach. At first, their goals are separate, but eventually they begin helping each other. Will helps Cam keep Zach alive. Cam helps Will survive his injuries. Their relationship develops through mutual responsibility. They may never become close friends, but they develop an understanding. Cam recognizes that Will is not the same as Danny. Will recognizes that Cam is not simply someone he can control. Both of them begin the story trapped in their own personal problems. By the end, they have changed because of what they experienced together. The film's final message is ultimately about the consequences of desperation. Desperation can make people do things they never believed they were capable of. But desperation does not remove the ability to choose. Will makes terrible choices, but he also makes better choices later. The film suggests that people can still change direction, even after making serious mistakes. They may not be able to erase what happened. They may not be able to avoid punishment, but they can still decide what they do next. That is what Will does when he shoots Danny. He cannot undo the robbery. He cannot undo Zach's shooting. He cannot undo the deaths, but he can stop another murder, and that decision matters. The same is true of Cam. She cannot undo everything that happened to her. She cannot erase the fear and violence she experienced. But she can choose to help Amy. She can choose to hold Lindsay's hand. She can choose not to remain emotionally closed off. The characters cannot change the past. They can only choose what kind of people they will be afterward. That is where the story ends, not with a perfect victory, not with every problem solved, but with the characters making choices after the chaos. Will faces the consequences of his crimes. Amy remains beside him. Zach survives and tells the truth. Cam begins to open herself emotionally. Lindsay wakes up. Danny is gone. The city returns to normal, but the people involved will never be the same, and that is what makes the movie memorable. It is not simply about a robbery. It is about how one desperate decision can send several lives spinning out of control. It is about two brothers who love each other but cannot escape the differences between them. It is about a paramedic who learns that caring is not weakness. It is about a police officer who survives because the criminal who shot him later refuses to let him die. And it is about a husband who is willing to risk everything for his family, only to discover that the path he chose may destroy the very life he was trying to protect. The film begins with Will looking for a way to save Amy. He believes money is the answer. By the end, he has learned that money cannot solve every problem. The robbery gives him the chance to pay for treatment, but it also costs him his freedom. Danny gives him access to money, but also pulls him into a world of violence. The criminal world promises a quick solution, but the consequences are permanent. Will's journey is therefore both exciting and tragic. He begins as an ordinary man facing an extraordinary problem. He ends as a man who has been forced to confront the darkest parts of himself. But even after everything, he is still capable of choosing compassion. That is why the ending does not feel completely hopeless. The film shows that people can make terrible decisions and still have the ability to do something good. It also shows that doing something good does not erase the bad things that came before. Both truths can exist at the same time. Will can be responsible for shooting Zach and still help save his life. He can be a criminal and still love his family. Danny can be dangerous and still care about his brother. Cam can be emotionally distant and still become deeply compassionate. The characters are complicated because real people are complicated. Nobody is defined by one single action. The final image of Cam leaving the hospital as night falls brings the story to a quiet conclusion. The city is still there. The lights are still shining. Traffic continues. People are still going about their lives. But for the people involved in the day's events, everything has changed. A normal day became a nightmare. A robbery became a battle. A criminal became a lifesaver. A paramedic became emotionally connected to her patients. A family was given a chance to survive, and two brothers were finally forced to choose between loyalty and morality. In the end, the film is a fast, intense, and emotional action thriller built around one simple question. How far would you go to save the person you love? Will goes further than he ever imagined, and the price of that decision is almost everything. The film's action, chase sequences, shootouts, and explosions keep the story moving at full speed, but underneath all of that is a story about desperation, family, loyalty, guilt, and the consequences of making one bad decision after another. Will's journey begins with a man trying to save his wife. It ends with a man who has lost his brother, his freedom, and the normal life he once had. But he has also saved lives. He has protected his family, and at the final moment he chooses to do the right thing. That does not make him a hero in the traditional sense, but it proves that even after taking the wrong path, a person can still make one final choice that matters. And that is ultimately what makes the story so powerful. Sometimes the most dangerous journey does not begin with greed. Sometimes it begins with desperation. Sometimes the person who starts the day trying to save his family ends up needing to save himself from the choices he made. And sometimes, even in the middle of complete chaos, one final decision can determine who a person truly is.